back. We got Jerry Boyer, Vince Farrell, Fritz Meyer, Gary Schilling. Hello, everybody. Jerry Boyer, what'd you think of that Bernie Bush story? And it's a funny story, but it's a great story, and it could have huge impact. I mean, this is part of the move around this country to get us back on drilling, at least in the short run, and that could be the saving grace for the whole stock market story.
It was like this whiff of sanity in a media that has been carrying around water for this. It's going to take 10, 15, 20 years, according to some unnamed Energy Department study that nobody can find, for this guy to point out what people used to know for thousands of years, which is that oil is a natural pollutant. John D. Rockefeller, when he was looking at that sludge in the streets of Cincinnati, was dealing with a sludge removal problem, which actually, they discovered, hey, wait a minute, we can actually turn this pollutant into a fuel, and the modern world was born. So when you stop doing that, you leave the pollutant in the environment.
Go ahead, Fritz. Go ahead, Fritz. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to add this, I think that production from Southern California actually could come on relatively quickly, as well as from the eastern Gulf of Mexico. There's a gas reserve called the Destin Dome, which is actually shut in pursuant to the moratorium on drilling. I think we could be surprised at how quickly some of these reserves could actually come online.
Fritz, I agree, and we've been talking about the Santa Barbara story is absolutely true. I believe, to give credit where credit is due, it was a research study from Sanford Bernstein that first raised this, but it's now circulated quite widely. The infrastructure is in place out there if the laws are passed. Now, the trouble with that whole story is the California, Schwarzenegger may try to block it. That's the other issue. But putting that aside, Fritz, as a confirmed stock market optimist bull, if oil were to stay where it is or go back to the highs or even higher, Fritz, I got to ask you, is it possible that you can remain optimistic? I don't see how you can be an optimist. If oil goes from where is it today? 128, okay? If it goes back to 145, 150, 175, 200, Fritz, you got to tell your clients to get the heck out, don't you?
Right. That's been a problem, and that has clearly shaded our optimism over the last 6 months. That's why I'm jumping for joy with the retracement of oil prices as well as some commodity prices. If oil were to simply stay roughly where it is today, then I can keep an optimistic outlook, because I think that the economy is adjusting to this. And, food and energy spending for the average consumer really hasn't increased by only 2 percentage points.
No, I think you're exactly right. And I, by the way, share your view. This is whole experience this week. I didn't need a burning bush. I already had one of those a long time ago. But it's given me a little more optimistic on my backbone. Go ahead, throw some cold water on the burning bush and the lower oil and the optimism. You hate optimism. I'm such a good guy like you, so bad on optimism. What is wrong here?
Larry, let me just say that, Moses had no view going into the burning bush. St. Paul did. And he was switched around by the road to Damascus. So I think that's a better analogy.
St. Paul was hit by some important bright lights. But let's get back to the burning bush.
The point is on this energy. The facts are pretty clear here that $4 a gallon on gasoline means that economics trumps philosophy and people's instincts toward environmentalism. But the facts here are that we've had a tremendous number of institutions and individuals who've gone into commodities convinced that they are an investment category.
But now they're going to be screwed. They're going to be completely killed.
Well, I think that we're starting to see
we got a commodity chart.
They are rushing out with greater speed than they rushed in.
We have a commodity chart. This could be the death knell of the commodity.
Well, you heard me say commodities.
Look at that. There it is. Look at the full screen.
Yeah.
Are you willing to go? So get out of commodities. Is that your call?
We're short. We're short commodities.
Well, if commodities are falling and oil is falling and you've got a stronger dollar, you should be wildly optimistic about the stock market. What the hell's wrong with you on a Friday night?
Demand is finally being arrested by the high oil prices. The global economies are slipping. Demand is going. This is anticipating weak demand.
You're optimistic. If the money flows out of the commodity trade, where does it flow to?
Right.
Because it is investable funds that flow back into the stock market.
Vince, for every buyer, there's a seller.
For every buyer, more net money of that speculative money coming in. When the market improves, when the market improves, the $3 trillion that sits right now in money market funds, it says, hey, maybe there's opportunity opportunities.
Did
in the
we
market.
see a little of this week with oil going down, on balance for the week, energy stocks going down, and financials having a great week? Was that a little bit of this story?
I think so,
Out of
Larry.
commodities, out of energy. Some of these energy sectors got killed this week, and people did what? They did a little.
I want to see. I want to see Bank America on Monday and Wachovia on Tuesday. Wachovia especially, because with the new CEO, he's going to rip that place apart. I want to see how the market acts, but I have, for the very first time in some weeks, real fundamental reasons for optimism about the market.
You know, did you see how the Washington Post Schumerized Wachovia? They Schumerized it. Jerry Boyer on the way out. The Washington Post on the front page did a Schumer-type number on Wachovia. Jim McTague Barron's has coined it's a new verb, to Schumer, which means to contract and destruct banking institutions.
Yeah, but I think we're done. I think even Schumer was embarrassed by what he did by destroying that bank, and so Schumer might stop Schumering.
All right, no more Schumering. Much more of our time.